Hello guys, I'm here with the video today talking about cards that I think can be semi-limited, limited, or unlimited. Not any cards that can go on to the ban list in this current format, but just cards that are already on the ban list that can be different. And the first one we're gonna talk about is Brilliant Fusion. This card just helps Gem Knights. It's also FTK. It also can FTK in Adamantipator. It would help Adamantipator basically in any Gem Knight variant decks. Because its effects reads: when this card is activated, fusion summon one Gem Knight fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your deck as fusion material, but change its attack/defense to 0. If this card leaves the field, destroy that monster once per turn. You can destroy one spell. The monster special by this effect gains its original attack/defense. And you can only activate one Brilliant Fusion per turn. I think this come back to 2. Or at least 1. 1 would be fine. No, I think this can actually go back to 1. Because 1, this card effect just reads, oh, it's a free Shaddoll Fusion, it's basically like Shaddoll Fusion, but it has no, you don't need anything on board for it. So you can just special them out of the deck easily. And you can discard one spell just to get it back to its original attack. So it's like an FTK card going second. If you summon out the one that's the other brilliant card that's Gem Knight card that says you can special one Gem Knight monster from the extra deck to the field, then that one's good because you summon out Gem Knight Master Diamond, and then just go into another Gem Knight monster, fusion monster during your next turn if you want to, after you combo off. This would also help get past Dragoon, because Dragoon's 3,000 attack. If they don't negate this card effect, you get out a monster that's higher than 4,000. They're done for. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. Block Dragon helps Adamantipator because it says cannot be normal summon /set, must be special from your hand or grave by banishing 3 earth monsters from your hand and /or grave. Rock monsters you control cannot be destroyed except by battle. If this card is sent from the field to the grave, you can add up to 3 rock monsters from your deck to your hand, whose total levels equal 8. You can only use this effect of Block Dragon once per turn. This is a once per turn effect. So if a Union character equips it to a rock monster or earth monster and it gets sent to the grave, you can add 3. That's only one time. But this is just towers for Adamantipator. So it'll work well with a Brilliant Fusion in the sense that you can get out more monsters, powerful monsters for Adamantipator. This can get out Appaloosa Negate, Access Code Talker, Geo Transverser, a bunch of cards. This can help you get out to Geo Transverser and go into and put it on Geo Transverser's link arrow if you can point to Dragoon. So they put Dragoon in the middle column. It's all over. Or the columns, if they put a Dragoon just in general where a Geo Transverser is, and they don't expect you playing it, they're done for. Right now, Adamantipator without this is really bad. There's Print Kids Adamantipator. It's a version of it that summons out Regeki plus some other plus some negates. This in Print Kids Adamantipator would be it'd make the deck better, way better. This would make the deck way better. Even for a Gem Knight version, this would make the deck way better. These two for Gem Knight Adamantipator's. And I think this one can at least come back to 2 or 1. First of all, it's a once per turn effect. You could play 2 of it, just in case like it gets negated. Because if it gets negated the first time, you can always use it again. But you have to banish from the grave. I'm pretty sure. Let me go see. By banishing, its summoning condition is. Yeah, its summoning condition says you have to banish. So first you'd have to banish. Well, actually, no, not for the summoning condition. Unless it had the. Like, on dry town cards says tribute 1 to special. You have to tribute because it's a effect. It's an effect that you have to tribute on. Like called by. You have to target. But you can keep the monsters in grave. So you can just keep activating this effect. But if we had called by back, which is what we're going into next, we can banish this card, which is called by is at 1 right now. So going into this, called by says target 1 monster in your opponent's grave, banish it. And if you do until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of the monster's original name. So, if you banish Block Dragon, the towers are over. That's why I think this can at least come back to 2 or 3. 2 would be best, because 3 would be like it would go in the side deck. This would go in the side deck anyways, just because it really doesn't help meta decks, except for like hand traps, which meta decks don't really. Most decks in meta decks, they don't care about the hand traps they can never. They get past hand traps easy. This would help you with Eldritch. You banish their Golden Lord in grave, they can't special summon him back. And if they're playing like an Eldritch variant that doesn't play more than 3, then, and if you know they're not playing more than 3, then more than 2, then you banish. If you can banish at least 2 of their Eldritch monsters, then they're done. The deck's just over, because they can't activate any of the traps. But this would help against Block Dragon, so this wouldn't equal out Block Dragon's graveyard effect. And if you can't get out a second Block Dragon in the grave to do towers, then it's over. So that's why I can come back to at least 2. But hopefully you can come back to 3. Red Reboot. Red Reboot is a neg on resources for like you. Because this basically just says you make yourself lose life points to activate it from the hand, and you can negate the activation of your opponent's trap card effects, and they can set another trap. That's in simple terms. But Soul Effect says when your opponent activates a trap card, negate the activation. If you do, set that card face down. Then they can set one other trap directly from the deck. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, your opponent cannot activate trap cards. You can activate this card from your hand by paying half your life points. It's neg on life points, neg on resources for you, because your opponent would gain the resource advantage, because they'd have more cards set. They'd have more cards in the back row for their turn. Like if they're playing Eldritch, they can set up a back row if they wanted to. And going into the time, this would not help you at all. In a tournament and in going into time, this would not help you. But the only thing it would help you with is not having your opponent activate more trap cards that turn. But it does not say they can't activate any hand traps or anything. So if they got any hand traps in your deck like that ends their turn easily to hand traps, you're done. So this can at least come back to 3 because it does nothing for people. Like, does nothing for the format, does nothing to it, does nothing to any other decks. I think Dandelion can come back to 1. This is just a token generator. It's not a tuner, so it's not as broken as Jet Synchron, which was like you banish, you discard 1 to come back, but it'd be banished when it goes into the grave. It wasn't as good. It's not as good as Link Cross, because it's a token generator based on if it was summoned with a Link monster and based on the Link monster's rating. This is just going in the grave. So if you can get it in the grave multiple times, that's good. But you'd have to find a way to that. Because the card has no like in-grave effect that says it can specimen itself back. So it's like worse. It's like a worse Link Cross, but it's like a Jet Synchron in the terms that if this card can come back from the grave, you can keep using this card's effect. So Jet Synchron can special summon itself. It's like infinite Jet Synchrons with the tokens because they're all level 1s. Depending on how many times you can return special summon it back on the field and get it in the grave. So it's not really good, this format. It would be good for synchro decks. But not like Virtual World, you play this card in that, you can summon it out. It's a level 3 also, so any decks that like have level 3s in them, like Burning Abyss, this would be really good in Burning Abyss. Because I think this card can come back to 1, at least 1. And Burning Abyss just sends this card to, if it sends this card to grave, get 2 tokens. And if they can get out a synchro monster like Despot, they can go into a Marshall and then get out Despot again. And then another tuner monster from the grave that they have in there. And yeah, not really that good for the format. Except for like decks that need tokens or that really needs a token generator, like that plays level 3s. Orchest Harp Horror can come back to at least 3 or 2. At least 2, maybe 3. Because it says you can banish this card from your grave, especially when 1 Orchest monster from your deck, except Harp Horror. Also, you cannot special monsters for the rest of this turn except dark monsters. You can only use this effect of Orchest Harp Horror once per turn. This card really should be coming back to 3 or 2. Reason being, if you think about it, they have quick launch, unlimited ice for rockets. Rockets can be used in Dragon Link. And really, if you think about it, quick launch has nothing that's stopping you from playing in any other decks. This locks you in the dark, so you have to play a dark only deck. And it's a special summon from the deck. So if they have Ash, they can Ash you, because you have to manage this for cost. They can Ash you, and then it's over, because you don't have this engrave. Unless you can get out another one engrave, then you're good. But then it's a once per turn effect, so you can't even use this again. Quick launch is not a once per turn effect, and it's still specimens from the deck. This would like help Orchest a lot, low-key. So that's why you can come back to 2, and maybe 3 if Konami's feeling it. Because you never know, they always ban around the problem cards. Infernity's launcher. Its effects reads, once per turn, you can send 1 Infernity monster from your hand to the grave. You can send this card to the grave. then target up to 2 Infernity monsters in your grave. Special summon them. You must have no cards in your hand to activate and resolve this effect. So basically, if you're playing Infernity, this would really help actually, because this is really mostly for Infernity, like Infernity, Burning Abyss, maybe that kind of play you can go for. But like this, you just special summon. You can get rid of your hand, then go into Infernity plays. Then this just helps you. Because once you get a card in hand, you can't use this. You can't use the second effect, special summon 2. You can keep getting this, but if it comes back to at least 2, you can only get it twice. It's searchable by one of the Infernity's effects that adds Infernity cards. It also makes you gain more monsters on board, so you can build up bodies on the board. It also helps you gain more link materials. And it also helps you get rid of your hand, which is what Infernities are about, getting rid of your hand. The best board I've seen Infernities do is Appaloosa in Dragoon. Appaloosa Dragoon Pass. That's all. That's all they really do. They also get into Saryuja, which just draws 4, returns 3. So if you have like no hand, you return 3, and then you activate the card effect in hand. Then that card was like, then you have a hand now, so you can't use their effects unless you're able to special summon that card from hand. Which if you're playing Burning Abyss Infernity, then that's really good, because you can special summon out the Infernity monster to a zone, to the zone that the link 2 points to for Burning Abyss. They won't die because you have Infernity monsters on board. See, it could help them make more plays. The deck would see more play in the format. And I think Konami should just let it to 2 to see what the deck can do. If it's really that much of a problem, they can just put it back to 1. Because if you think about it, Miscellaneousaurus for Dinos was banned. Konami put it in the format. I think a long time. They put it in the format. If they really want, if that's really a problem card, they can just reban it or put it to limited. This one's limited. If it's semi-limited and it's a problem because it's semi-limited, then you just put it back to 1. Next card we're going to be talking about is Salmon Great Mirage Stalio. It needs 2 level 3 monsters. You can detach 1 material from this card to special summon 1 Salmon Great monster from your deck in defense position. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of this turn except Fire Monster. If this XZ summon card is sent to the grave as material for the summon of a Link monster, of a Salmon Great monster, you can target 1 monster on the field, return it to the hand. You can only use each effect of Salmon Great Mirage Stalio once per turn. So, it's like Heart Horror in the sense that you can only, the sense that you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn. Fire monsters, but instead of being locked in the dark, you're locked into fire monster effects. This would be for Salmon Greats, because unless there's other fire decks that I don't know of, probably that are out there that have effects. So this could also be out there for them. Because if you add those into the mix with Salmon Greats, you're good. But it mostly just helps Salmon Greats. It's a free special summon like Harp Horror, but you can be ashed. And you can use it on your next turn instead. Unlike Harp Horror, that you have to banish for cost. This one you can special summon, but you have to detach for cost. So if you run out of both materials, then you're done for. But its other effect is that if it's sent to the grave as Link material, you can target. So it targets for cost, which is not a good effect, because if it's not sent to the grave on another turn, let me think about, Like, if your opponent's going first, you go second, you activate this effect. Then you're okay. Because it's more like a going second effect. That's what it's based on. This is also like I said about quick launch. It's not banned or limited or semi-limited, and it's like a free special summon. You get out another body for free. No effects attached. Except for the effect that it has to be destroyed, which rocket monsters want to be destroyed so they can activate their fix. So it's like a free body again. And so that's why I think it can come back to at least one for Salamangreat. So that's what I think that can come back off the ban list. Now my opinions may not be correct. Just tell me in the comments if you agree with any of these or if you have different opinions, because I'm always up for like listening to other opinions. But like, yeah, so that's the end of this video. Bye.